Okay. Hopefully we are good to go. Um, yeah, hopefully everything is set up and ready and my desk is still a mess. At some point I'm going to clean them. However, I have not done so. Um, things are just weird in terms of I went to what was supposed to be my first physical therapy appointment this morning for the back and the plantar fasciitis, the feet. And when I mentioned one of the other things I have going on next week, he was like, "Oh, we need to wait until you're cleared after that. So we'll just pretend like today never happened and reschedule you for after." I was like, "Okay, great." Anyway, so that sort of delays some of that, but his reasoning was sound. So Monique says, "Hey y'all, hello, welcome." In other words, what I thought was going to be happening today, and then like I could have something to work on at home from now on. I don't have that yet. So, hooray. Due to the current internet discourse regarding ballet and opera, this is because if people don't know, Timothy Chalamet, an actor, pretty much disparaged a lot of the classical musical related art forms. So ballet, opera, classical music related things. Essentially, he was like, nobody cares about it. I'm like, more people. You're going to find out that more people care about it than you think they do. Um, so, but yeah. So anyway, that has Monique is right. That has set off a good bit of internet discourse and conversation about ballet and opera and Timothy Chalamet. So you have Bizet's opera Carmen playing. You also posted a reel on your Instagram. I saw that. You're hoping to use the trend to promote your series. Nice. Even though you haven't written book 2 yet, you can still get people hyped. Yes, this is true. Kate is watching Publish and Thrive this morning, doing your morning mind dump. Nice. Kate wants to know if I've made any new critters with yarn. I think the most recent critter was the jellyfish with the big spiral in the middle, and the sort of like danglies off the side. I think that's the most recent critter. I finished 2 hats. I'm working on a third. Just like when I go to the doctor's office and I'm sitting in the waiting room and stuff. Um, but yeah, so I've not done any critters recently. I was like, my hands need a bit of a rest in terms of working with the chenille yarn. So not recently. Elizabeth is here and says, hello, welcome. Welcome. Monique also did the morning pages today. I have not because I got up earlier than I normally do, and then I was working with what I assumed was the right amount of time before I left the house. And then I wound up leaving the house like 5 minutes late. So I was like just barely there and to their 15-minute window before the appointment. They're like, you must be here for, at 45 minutes till. I'm like, okay. Or I should say 15 minutes till. There we go. So I'd be there at 5. So I have not done my morning pages today. So I should probably do that. But they'll be afternoon pages at this point. Kate says, I get that. With me and wrapping crystals, it's really hard on the fingers too. Yeah. And that's like I've been wanting to make jewelry again and haven't just because my desk is a mess and I feel like every time I pull out stuff. But yeah, I have not figured out all of the wire wrapping skills for sure. But I definitely want to get better at it. Kate says, my card reading has given me the Devil and the 5 of Swords, which is all right. Things you're working through. Gotcha. I'm glad you already know about the things. Because sometimes when it's a surprise, you're like, oh, Oh, did not know that was coming down the pipeline. So, what else? What else? I did get a new pearlescent watercolor pad. So like a selection of low quality, because it was cheap, pearlescent watercolor. So it just has mica powder in it, I think, mica pigments. I'm not actually sure if they're like natural mica or they might be more like glitter based. I should probably look at the package a little closer. Monique pulled the 7 of Wands. Okay, so we have, is the devil an odd or an even number? I'm trying to remember. It is, let's see, view, navigation pane. It's 15, so it's an odd number as well. So are we pulling all odds today is the question. So if you have not pulled and you have an interest in whether or not we're going to get odds today, let us know. I have not pulled mine today either. As I said, I took like the first the first appointment I could get, which was early in the morning. Okay, we need a couple of things. We need the cats. We need the card. And we need, I guess, to state our goal for today. What are we hoping to get done? Because we are now in double digits in March. So hopefully that doesn't change what you're hoping to get done quite so much, but we are also midway through the week. So what do you want to get done today? What do you want to get done this week? I guess is the next question. And then we have 3 very cute little kittens. Take comfort and fashion advice from friends. They are so cute and so fuzzy looking. Adorable. But this one in the middle, you're going to have to watch out for because those claws are already grabbing at the yarn. Okay. Then we have See My Tipped Ear. I'm in the TNR, the Trap Neuter Release program. Google it. I'm also in the Pate Anonymous program, but don't tell anybody. Looks so sleepy. I think the sleepy cat is definitely my spirit animal for today because I am also sleepy. I am also sleepy. Then we need to pull a card. Okay, we pulled the deer. Bring a gentle touch to others and to yourself. It's number 18. We have our deer spirit, also fashion icon with a little headpiece. The time has come to be gentle and diplomatic when dealing with others. You might have found yourself in a situation where negotiations are necessary in order to reach your goal. Be mindful of the words you choose, but do not worry. The deer reminds you that you have the ability to be sure-footed and confident while showing humility and respect for others. You will find that your capacity for calm and grounded communication is heightened at this time. Follow the way of the deer and you will do well, gaining the respect of others and finding common ground that is pleasing to you. Remember that understanding others and their needs will be more powerful at this time than putting your own needs first. If you do that, you will be rewarded tenfold. So again, there is our dear friend. So bringing that diplomatic touch, but also necessary negotiations. So at some point, you have to deal with people, with others, and that requires tact, shall we say. Tact and empathy. Okay, let's go ahead and pull up whatever it is we're working on today. I do need to do my morning pages. I also need to check in with my journal because something got rescheduled today. So, got to do that before I forget. So, morning pages. And then maybe one scene. I think it depends on how fast I get done with the morning pages. Gonna be honest there. Monique says the dear applies to your current admin/virtual assistant work. Yep. Yeah, that would definitely require dealing with others. Kara says you've pulled from the Enchanted Map deck, Wide Open. Number 42. You are free to express your uniqueness to the world and share in all of the bounty of life's endless possibilities. I like that one. I like it a lot. Kara says, I'm really working on not being as harsh on myself, which is your default. Yeah. Yeah. So I've seen a couple of pieces of advice that instead of having that narrative to yourself, if you can imagine that as somebody else speaking that way of your best friend, and would you allow that? How would you want others to speak to your best friend? And it is definitely an illuminating exercise to sort of reframe those thoughts and critiques in that manner. Because yeah, absolutely would never want anybody to speak of or to my besties that way. That doesn't like make it automatically switch off, but it is definitely a thing to sort of keep in mind. And if you can sort of like do that switcheroo where you're thinking of yourself as another person, just like, you know, a normal human who deserves decency, maybe that dear touch will help then. So, all right, we've got the got the cat, we've got the card. We are ready to go. I don't have a whole lot to chat about this morning. I'm sorry. Morning, afternoon. I know we normally chat for about 25 minutes. And I'm like, I'm ready to get to work. I've got stuff to do. I've got things to write. So it's Wednesday. It is middle of the week, the hump day. We got to get over today in order to be on the downward slide of the week. So hopefully what we do today is going to set us up for the rest of the week well. That's all I can say. All right, let's start with our new 30-minute timer, which I should probably share with y'all in terms of, here is the new 30-minute whirl timer. We'll pin that just so that you can find it later. There we go. Oh, and the poll today, didn't talk about that, just blazed on right by it. The poll for today is which family member has let your main character down? Which family member would your main character be disappointed in their actions or their words, or, you know, are they traitors? Like what's going on that makes your main character feel like they've been let down? Who is the character who's doing that? So is your main character's parent letting them down? Is a sibling letting them down? Is it a grandparent, or is it an aunt or uncle, or I guess even a cousin? So how nuclear is it? Is this family member that is disappointing your main character, I guess is the question. All right, let's do this. 1, save your document, pull it up, make sure you are ready to write. 2 is make sure you have something to hydrate with, and go ahead and take a sip. Cheers. Three, straighten your spine or roll your shoulders back for that posture check. Make sure not slouching too much. And 4 is if you need a break, please take a break. Here we go, 30 minutes. It is silent and has the chimes at the end. Here we go, 30 minutes, and 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go! Okay. I started doing a couple of different things. I did go into my regular bullet journal and scheduled the thing that was moved. So that's done. Then I checked on a couple of things on my phone in terms of timeline, but also in terms of I went and pulled the titles of the web novels and things that I've been reading the last, like since mid February, so that I can put those in my reading journal. And I know which ones were February and which ones March. So I went in and put the titles for the two last ones that I'm putting into February, and then started doing the pages for March. So I've got like a little half of a note page of titles and things that I've been reading. And apparently my attention span is getting shorter because I have started five and I've finished one of them. They're all like around 115 to 140 chapters, and most of them I've hit the 100 mark for, or I'm very close to it, and then I pick up another one and I'm like, okay, well. And then I ignore the other one. So I don't know. At this point, I need to finish those for sure this month. And then I made a mistake when I was filling out the header for March. So I went with, I have some Lotus. Is this going to focus? I don't know. Let's see if we can back it up a little bit. I have some Lotus Pond stickers and things. That's just not at all focusing. Why? Is it because they're shiny? I move. I don't know. Okay, how do I reset you to where you're going to be okay? There we go. So like I have some that are frogs, some that are fish, and some that are the little ponds. And then I have a separate washi tape that is a mat. That's just the lily pads and flowers. I don't actually like I'm not sure I could tell you right off the bat what's the difference between a water lily and a lotus. I'm not sure I could tell you. And there may be both, or there may just only be one. Does anybody know how to tell the difference? Anyway, so I think these two tapes are going to be my reading journal for March tapes, and sort of sticking with like a greeny theme. So yes, we are nearly halfway into March, and I have not set up my reading journal for March. Don't judge me. Don't judge me. We're finally making time for it. Let's see. Monique voted for parents in the poll because Susie was disowned by her biological mother. That might do it. Yep. Francis is here. Hello. You are late, but you are here. Hello, all. Welcome. Monique says, okay, for now, my admin stuff is done for the day. Good for you. That's awesome. Getting it done and out of the way. Now you need help brainstorming the last book in your series. Ooh. You have an idea on who the villains for book 5 are going to be and what the stakes are going to be. Excellent. Your characters are going to cancel the apocalypse. That seems like a very good, sturdy end goal. Yes. Diane says, hello, all. Hello. Welcome. Rachel says, hello. I'm a little late, but we realized we needed to rework the ending a few chapters, so that's the goal for today. Gotcha. Excellent. I'm glad you realized it, and I'm glad we can offer a space to help. Amanda is here and says, hello. Hello. Welcome. Amanda says, I put parents for the poll since she was spoiled growing up. Sorry. but it was really the fact that your main character has magical powers of persuasion that she always gets what she wants. So I guess it was the powers rather than the actual parents. Okay. She was not aware of the powers. They just happened naturally. And so she just attributed it to asking for what she wants with confidence, but she ends up ruining her relationships because nobody says no. Oh, yeah. Diane is doing the old lady pills and an organizer task. Gotcha. I mean, hey, I need to arrange one of those for my mom, but she refuses. She hates them because I think it makes her feel like an old lady. But she needs it. So, Kate says 389 words in your mind dump. Nice. You're going to finish watching the tracking sales video. Then you're going to do some fun writing on your Wiccan part. So the tracking sales video. This is in Publish and Thrive, right? Yes. Okay. Sorry, that took really long time for my brain to click on that. Sorry. Diane says to Monique, tell them to hurry up on ending the apocalypse. Yeah, for sure. Right now, your concepts for book 5 revolve around a few characters, namely the main villains, evil power couple, and an unexpected vampire ally, whose title is just the counselor. They, them pronouns. Most of Diane's pills are supplements. That makes you feel a bit better. Yeah. I think at this point I have like a regular multivitamin. Then I have specifically vitamin D, and then the omega-3 fish oil supplement. Those are my supplements. But then I had done my allergy medication, my new anxiety medication, and then whatever over-the-counter pain relief as needed. So yeah, I feel like I'm getting a lot more. I don't like it. So eventually I would like to come off of a good number of those. So Rachel says, I decided to make a spreadsheet for the characters so we know where everybody is pre-climax, post-climax, and the final scenes a week or so later. That is a good way to do it. Yes, you need to track no characters left behind. Exactly. Amanda's excited to start writing again. Yay! But you're not allowed to until you finish sending out your query letters for your children's book. Okay. So do you have a ballpark of how long it's going to take you to finish sending out the query letters for the children's book? Like, when are you going to be able to write? You set the goal to send out 10 letters this quarter, but so far you've only sent 2. Ooh, you may have procrastinated a bit. Okay, so do you have the other 8 agents / publishing houses in mind, or do you have to make that list? Macular degeneration runs in the family, so you take all the things. Gotcha. The letter part is done. You just have to research the submission requirements for each agent. Okay, this answers my question. Gotcha. Just remember to proofread your letter and make sure that you don't have any leftovers from like specifying or making it personal to whichever previous agents. Found a diamond earring while cleaning. Nice. I don't think I have any actual diamonds. So I barely have any cubic zirconiums. Most of the time it's just like metal. Or occasionally I have some semi-precious stones. I don't think I have any aquamarine earrings. I do have a small pendant that has the gem cut and polished, and then I also have a couple of raw chunks of aquamarine. Did I say amethyst? Aquamarine. I also have an amethyst one, but it's in gold. Amanda is still making the list, but there are a few that you've picked out to research further. Okay, gotcha. So in that case, Get one done today, or one done this week, shall we say? Because the end of the quarter is coming up in 2.5 weeks. So you need to have 8 of those done in 2.5 weeks. So you need to do essentially 2 a week at this point, right? So no, 4 a week. Just under 4 a week. So yeah. Monique says book 5 is going to be a lot because not only are Jane and Andy possibly going to change vampire society forever, but they're also getting married. Nice. 99% sure that it's costume, just weird finding. This might be from the old owners, right? You don't wear earrings. You moved into the house 6 weeks ago and it was bare bones. Is it a stud? Like stud earring? Did any of the movers have a stud earring in that they might have lost? So it either belongs to somebody who inhabited the house before, or the movers maybe. It's a lot. You'll probably end up doing a big bunch of them together just to get them out of the way. Yeah. Yep. Okay. Let's go ahead and do the next spread. And I'm also going to disappear for a few minutes because I need to go. Mom is out working in the yard, so I need to go remind her that it's about time for her to come in. Assume it's from the previous owner, had a back on it, so it can't be the movers. Okay. All right, let's go ahead and save our document, even if we haven't worked on it yet. I'm going to save it anyway. And then we're going to take a sip, stay hydrated. Cheers. Then we're going to pick a timer. I'm going to do the winter morning. I still have, until next Thursday to do the winter morning stuff, right? Because technically spring is on the 20th. Technically. All right, second sprint is the self-promo sprint. Make sure you do your self-promo, and also make sure that you answer the poll during the second sprint if you have not already done so. So 1 is save, 2 is sip, 3 is straighten your spine or roll your shoulders back, do a posture check. If you need to stand up, walk around, get a little bit of a stretch break in, please do. 4 is if you need that break for extra stretches, if you need that break for tending to the doggos or snackage, any of that kind of stuff, please take that break. Here we go, 30 minutes in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. Okay, I have managed to get the pages mostly done for the reading journal. I've got 2 that are blank and sort of blank and ready to go, in terms of ready for some of the stat information, ready for comments and review. I'm trying to leave myself a little bit more space than I did in January and February, because sometimes the writing got a little bit cramped. Sometimes I didn't write anything at all, other than like, here, I read this, or I attempted to read this. And let's see, I have added to the TBR for the first time this year. It was not great, but hey, it happens. I found four discounted books at Marshall's when I went, so yay. But that does mean that my TBR, I think, is it the same as what it was when I started in January? 1, 2, 3, 4. I think it is. Yeah. So I have not done much for my TBR thus far. Gotta work on that. Anyway, don't forget to do your self promo. I also have to figure out which gold pen that I want to use. And I have not done my metallic swatches in my current journals, I don't think. So I have to go and look at an old journal to see my metallic swatches. I think I need to go into my B5 for that. Okay, we about made an avalanche happen. This was my B5 from last year. Sticky note. Okay. Ooh, maybe the copper. Okay, so here are my metallic golds as options. So I have this Inkjoy metallic copper, and then I have the Archer Olive gold pen up here that I think would work well with like the goldfishes. See if I can maybe get this to be sort of a little bit closer together. So I have the goldfish there, and either the copper or that top gold on the right. I think I might go with the copper and see how that looks in the black. It's an experiment. If it doesn't turn out pretty, I won't use it again. Right? So here's the Inkjoy for copper doings. Anyway, let me, and this one I know dries a little bit faster than the one that I was thinking of using, so that'll be good. Okay, scroll. With the quote unquote diamond earring, Diane told hubby it was his girlfriend's. He swears it's your girlfriend's. Nice. Goodness. Does anybody know if anyone who uses query tracker is able to see who else you are sending queries to? I know not to send to people in the same agency, but a lot of people use query tracker. I hadn't thought about that. I don't know. I have my own spreadsheet that I keep. So I probably should be using Query Tracker. But I have my own hybrid of a chaotic spreadsheet. I probably should be using Query Tracker. To be honest, I should be using it. But yeah, so I do not know. Monique has your latest post from Instagram. There's that. Diane does not know about the Query Tracker. You're chatty today. It's perfectly fine. Amanda says, starting this week, you sprint every Monday with some exceptions in the evening. Ooh, your last stream had only one person consistently in the chat, so you could use the company next week. Yes. So here is Amanda's channel. Kara wants to know what time. Amanda is also chronicling your weight loss journey on your channel. Check out the shorts for weekly weigh-ins to keep you accountable. I see you there. I'm also supposed to be doing the same. Currently backing myself out of self-sabotage snacking sessions. So I feel you there. Amanda says 8 p.m. Eastern. Nice. Okay, so that's the time on Mondays that Amanda is going to be streaming starting next Monday. Rachel says, gotcha, to Amanda. Amanda, are you putting these, because you're going to be doing the writing and the querying and all that kind of stuff on the streams, on the sprints, are you scheduling them ahead of time so that they can be in the AuthorTube and WritingTube spreadsheet? If not, there is a form on the spreadsheet that you can fill out to have yourself added onto there. Okay, let's see. Yeah, Kara is a member of Eating Disorders Anonymous. Weigh-ins and Diet Talk are triggering for you. Do you tend to do those during the streams? Yeah, make sure you're staying healthy. Amanda does the dice roll sprints. Sometimes you roll for exercise, so you do talk about that, but you don't talk about food. And your weigh-ins are not during the stream. Excellent. I will try to remember and be careful myself, Kara, and be good. This is okay. Rachel needs ARC readers, urban fantasy and paranormal romance, novellas, and a novel. So here's the form for that in case that is up your wheelhouse. Monique says, I'm going to be making lunch now. Talk to y'all later. Kara says, I put your sprints on my calendar. I might be able to make it to some of them. Monday nights are volatile. I'm trying to think. Sometimes Monday nights are volatile. Yeah. Because it's the beginning of the week. Things are sort of like still being juggled in preparation for the rest of the week. Kara says, it's not my intention to tell other people what to do with their bodies, including weight loss, but you have to protect yourself from sliding back into eating disorder behaviors. Yes. Agreed. Amanda totally understands as well. Do what's healthy for you. Yes. Kara has new book promos up on Reader's Roost. Nice. Diane said, my first thought was that it might be triggering for Minnie. Yeah, so you might have to do some trigger warnings in case you do have a conversation bit about that. Rachel says, thanks to Kara, and no worries about me being mindful of the triggers. Diane took trash dumpster to the alley. Okay, see here, my brain is wondering if this is actually like the trash canister or if this is your nickname for your dog. And then I read, and in the process dumped all the cold water standing on the lid onto your feet. So then I'm like, okay, it is the bin. But like my brain is like, okay, are we talking about the dog? Are we talking about a raccoon? Like you took the trash dumpster to the alley and let it sniff around, right? But Diana's considering buying herself some art books. Ooh, what kind of art books? Like art inspiration, art that has photos of still lifes or techniques? Like what kind of art books are we talking about? I need to know so that I can either yay or nay this purchase. Even though generally I am inclined to say yay. Because I am always happy to approve of somebody else's purchases. Anub Havir, hello, welcome. How's it going? It's going good. It's going good. I'm getting some stuff done. It may not be necessarily what I originally planned on doing, but we're getting there. Cat's Chaos Cafe says, heyo, hello. You've been lurking. Well, welcome. Welcome, welcome. Amanda says, one of the agents I've used requires submissions to be through Query Tracker. Okay, gotcha. I mean, I know it is pretty prevalent. And if you don't want to spend time doing data duplication, then you might want to stick to just Query Tracker. But I do not know what necessarily, like, I think what you were asking is if, like, this agent can see that you have also submitted to another agency or not. I don't know if that is the case. Diana's flipping through Facebook to see the latest local happenings, aka the gossip. I think our local gossip, somebody was getting ready to graduate nursing school. I think either one of the chickens or one of the rabbits got hit by the hawk. Next door neighbor's ex was convicted of a serious crime. People up the street that way, I think, were also evicted, and there's a new tenant who's much quieter. We appreciate it. So yeah, so that's the latest gossip for around here. Kat says, you're currently reworking some plans to account for solo journaling, RPG development, and novel writing. Because I guess I'm doing that now. I mean, yes. Yes, I like all the things. And yes, you're putting them on the schedule. Fantastic. Talking about food is not a problem for you. It's only when people start moralizing about food or talking about weight and diets. Gotcha. The nickname, yeah. I mean, like, Trash Dumpster would be a fantastic nickname for a dog that eats everything off the floor. So, you know, probably art history books, but we shall see. I approve. Rachel, we had the dear card today, which was all about just diplomacy and gentleness when you are negotiating and dealing with others. So that was the card. So apparently it's the 6-month anniversary of a podcaster's death. Oh, and the Facebook gossip for your area? Gotcha. Was the podcast any good? Do we know if the podcaster was a good person? Well, we did not anticipate some of the gossip. So yeah, so when we moved in, the next door neighbor was still together with the man, and he had previously been to prison for other things, apparently, and then they broke up about like maybe a year and a half to 2 years into us living here. Turns out he was not very kind to her nor her daughter, which is why she kicked him out. Good for her. And then we got a knock on our door. It was like the GBI, and they were wanting to know if his truck had been by. And in the meantime, that was a truck that she had purchased. So it was under her name, still hers. And she had given it to her new man, because he was also doing construction work and it was a good truck and all, anyway. So the GBI wanted to know like when the truck would be there, despite him not being associated with that address anymore. And so, yeah, it was. So the trial for the ex was in the local newspaper recently, being like the trial was, all the arguments had been heard and the jury was due to start deliberating, and it took them less than a week to come to a conclusion based on things. So Kat says, some of my ideas actually work best as RPGs, and it makes a stupid amount of sense that makes you upset that you didn't see it before. I mean, sometimes it just takes a while for our brain to connect. Like I will not tell you just how long it was between me seeing Monty Python and the Quest for the Holy Grail, which, by the way, loved the film. Probably saw it somewhere about 5 times before I came to the realization that Knigget was night. And I just happened to be replaying part of the movie quotes as I was walking down the stairs. And all of a sudden, like I was coming down for dinner, and my dad and my brother were already downstairs, and they just hear me from the stairwell going, "Oh, Knigget!" It honestly took me several years, I think, between seeing it for the first time and connecting that Knigget was night. So yeah, sometimes it just takes time, and I think your realization makes more sense than me taking so long to figure out Knigget. Diane says we had a shooting of flew few blocks away a couple days ago. Ooh, KBI is investigating. Same day there were 2 other shootings in neighboring towns. Ooh, so weird but not associated. Gotcha. Kara says my foray back into writing after a long hiatus was actually sparked by the Call of Cthulhu role-playing game, which re-sparked your interest in H.P. Lovecraft stories. I mean, the whole thing about role-playing games, tabletop or not, is that they give you a structure to allow your imagination to flow. And then if you are anything like me, your brain immediately starts pushing in those boundaries and those rules, going, what if? And my brain wants to take all of the side quests, and they want to break all of the boundaries. And so then I am left staring into space, playing not by the rules at all. And I'm just like, I should write this down before I forget. So the Knights Who Say Me. Exactly. Love the movie. Love it so much. I really ought to. I'll probably play it again tonight just because we were talking about it and it's been a while since I saw it. So Amanda says this was not recent, but there was a guy who made the national news a couple of years ago for killing his wife and kids, and it turned out he lived just down the street from me. Yeah. Would you like a strawberry? Yes, I would like a strawberry. Okay, let's do this. Let's get going on our 3rd sprint. Yes, 3rd sprint. And then maybe I can get finished with, I've got a little bit more to do in terms of, I've got to put the header in for March, and then I've got, I think I'll leave making a couple more pages until a later time this week, but I do need to go ahead and write in the comments for the 3 novels that I have been reading. So, okay, let's do the 3rd sprint. 1, save your document. 2, make sure you have something to hydrate with. Cheers. 3 is to straighten your spine or roll your shoulders back for that posture check. Make sure you're not slouching too much. And I guess my self-promo is just, if you are not subscribed, please consider it. And also make sure you are checking the authortube spreadsheet to see when all of the additional sprints are happening. And make sure that you are subscribed to your fellow writers in the chat that you see all the time, and whoever else's sprints you go to. Kara says, only if it's a good shrubbery. Agreed. If it's a dead shrubbery, we don't want it. Okay, so 3 was stretch. 4 is if you need that break, take a break. Here we go, 30 minutes in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. Okay. I don't like it. I'm gonna rip that up. Sorry. I managed to I did the top there, and I didn't like the way that the copper was by itself. I didn't think it shined enough, so I went back in with the gold, which takes a little bit longer to dry. And then I went and did my comments for the first 3 books or titles that I have read thus far in March. So got that done. Sometimes it takes me a while to sort of like recall what my full impressions were. But yeah, so did good. But again, this was definitely not what I had planned to do for today. I had planned to do the morning pages and then get maybe one scene done. Did not happen. So I'm going to have to figure out this evening doing some sprints. And then tomorrow morning I have another appointment. So hopefully it will go okay and I will be in a state of mind after the fact to do some more writing. I'm gonna do my best. That's all I can do. So, but yeah, how'd you do? Diane says, I need to do some landscaping at this new to us house. If it were up to hubby, there would be nothing to mow around, but he hires mowers out. So, and also, if you have enough things, then you don't need to mow because it's all like garden. Depending on what you plant, then maybe you can get away with stuff. But anyway, okay. So my only opinion is do not get hollies that you put right up near the house. Don't do it. They get too spiky. They get too well rooted, and they can mess with the water drainage. And also, it's just really a pain to maintain them because they are so spiky. So, no to the holly bushes. And then I ask, what kind of shrubbery does the landscaping need? What types of native bushes / shrubs do you like? Like one of the things is my mom loves azaleas. And so we always have azaleas. And they make a really nice hedge, and you can get ones that flower like 3/4 of the year. So you can have some that are spring flowering, you can have some that are autumn flowering, you can have some that flower both. And so our spring ones just started to bloom last week, I guess. And yeah, and you can get the dwarf variety if you want, and they only get about 3 feet tall. The regular ones, the ones that are, I think their like scientific name is like Formosa something or other. Those can get up to be like 6 feet tall. So if you don't want to maintain that, make sure you put it in a spot where you don't mind that it grows to its full potential. But again, I don't know necessarily where in Kansas you are and what is native and what is like good bloomy, or do you want like an evergreen? Like what kind of thing are you looking for? You have 3 older trees out front in the patches between the road and the sidewalk, and that's it. Okay, partially fenced in backyard, and it's wide open pretty much to the street on the other side of the block. You need some privacy, in your opinion, in the backyard, zone 6. Okay, so if you need privacy, you need something that will eventually grow into either a hedge or will grow tall enough to kind of block your view. I don't know if azalea zones. Optimal zones 6 through 9. So you could get some azaleas, but again, like you may have to depending on what you got. Also roses, but roses can the same thing as hollies. They're spiky and can be an issue. If you want something that will grow a hedge and then also attract birds, you could go something with like blackberries or raspberries, but that can also eventually become an issue in terms of maintenance and overgrowth. What's the okay, so forsythia, if you like yellow, if you like the yellow flowers, optimal performance zones 5 through 8, thrive in full sun, but they only do flowers like early in the spring, so they are not a multiple times a year type of thing. Lavender growing zones. I don't think we have any. Lavender generally 5 through 10. Again, so you could do some lavender. But in that case, English lavender is for zones 5 through 8. So that you'd have to specify which type of lavender that you would want to get. You'd want the cold tolerant one. But yeah, something with berries, something with lots of pretty flowers. Depending on if you want help keeping away certain insects, I don't know if you would want like a citrusy scent. Either go full on for citrus, but it's sometimes a little hard, I think, to get citrus to grow in zone 6. I could be wrong. But I don't know if there might be something more like along the lines of lemongrass that might do a little bit better. Hubby and I both like pears and red buds. Red buds are so pretty. So probably get at least one of those. Yeah. Also, tulip magnolias. Oh, gorgeous. Yes. Will grow in your zone, but they are pricey. Yeah. I have a weeping willow. That's one of my trees that I'm like, I love this tree. I want one always. And so when we got here, I was like, I eventually will need a weeping willow in front. And so our across the street neighbor has a weeping cherry, and we have the weeping willow. And Mom has always thought about a weeping cherry, and apparently our across the street neighbor has always thought about weeping willow. So essentially we're just like, well, we'll trade views. We'll look at your cherry because it's in the front, and you can look at our willow. So it works out. It works out. But bushes and shrubs, you have no idea. Something that blooms, maybe. And you did wind up looking at other people's artwork for inspiration. Nice. Amanda has always wanted a weeping cherry. Yeah, they're pretty. But they are like very spindly looking in the wintertime when there's like nothing growing. It's you have to be prepared for that. Cherry tree, yes. And you could go with either weeping cherry or one of the ornamental or one of the actual fruiting kind, whichever one you want. Your mom had rose bushes all over every inch around the edges of our yard, and you loved it. Yeah, and the thing is, you could get different colors and have them like alternate. So, and if you have a Costco relatively nearby, they have started to put out their spring plants. And so you could get some of the double knockout roses for a little bit cheaper. They also have like the big ferns and things, but I don't know that those always come back, you know. Berries. You had a mulberry. Ooh, mulberry tree at the old house. Nice. You want the privacy while you're still deciding here. You used to know so much about plants, but it's been years. One of those times you wish your mom was still around to pick your brain. Yeah. You pulled up a picture of a weeping cherry, and they're gorgeous. They are. They are absolutely gorgeous. Amanda says, I want a yard full of pretty plants that I don't have to mess with. Yes. Which means you need to be rich enough to hire a gardener. Or you have to put in things, you have to plan and put in things specifically where they're going to be okay growing and you not touching them. Because I think crepe myrtles look interesting, but they are, like, you do have to maintain them. Wisteria, I love the look of, but it's just, it will run you ragged trying to like keep it contained. Same thing, like you don't want to plant mint either, because it, again, will run you ragged trying to contain it. Same thing with bamboo, because bamboo will give you privacy in a relatively short order, but it's going to take over like every square inch it possibly can, and your neighbor's property as well. So don't do bamboo. Let's see. Shrubs or bushes good for privacy hedges. And then we want to specify zone 6. Okay, best privacy hedges for zone 6 include fast-growing evergreens like the green giant arbor vitae, emerald green arbor vitae, skip laurel, which has glossy leaves, and the juniper. For flowering, you have options like the panicle hydrangea and the lilac. Ooh. These shrubs provide year-round screening with minimal maintenance. Boxwoods, of course. Again, they say hollies, but don't do hollies. False cypress, maybe. Then there is nine bark, never heard of it, also known as ginger wine. Offers dense foliage, color, and spring blooms. Rose of Sharon, summer-long blooms. Forsythia, yeah. So there's apparently a good number of privacy hedge options. False indigo bush, flame willow. What's a flame willow look like? Ooh, interesting. Look at this. That's kind of cool. I'm not sure I would love it in the winter, but that looks cool. From afar, I think it looks better. So, but that looks cool. And there's some of the leaves or flowers. I'm not real sure. Oh, and you can harvest it. Interesting. I might have to check that out and see if it grows down here. So that's an interesting option. But yeah. You had like a lilac at the old house too, but you got run over with tree saplings and just cut it all down. Okay. Gotcha. Amanda loves the look of grapevine on a trellis, but you need something that won't destroy your fence. True. You're in Southeast Kansas. Everything looks gray and blah pretty much in the winter. I mean, yeah. You had some ivy, likely poisonous, that was really super pretty, but it ripped our fence out of the ground. Yeah, so there are certain plants that will absolutely do that. And the wisteria was bad about grafting to the fence and then like growing around it, so that once you tried to trim it, you had to like cut and leave a stump just hanging out in midair attached to the fence. So yeah, Rachel has to take off for now. We should probably also do that because it is later than where we were. Yeah, wisteria, you constantly have to be trimming it because the trailing bits will grow everywhere. And yeah, so they will encapsulate your chain link fence and everything. So unless you are committed to maintaining it. No. So, all right. Don't forget to save your document one more time. And I at least got my reading journal caught back up to date. So that's something. I don't have to worry about that because that has been 3 or 4 weeks since I've been in there. So, yay. All right. Thank you very much. I will talk to y'all soon. Hopefully on Friday. And we can hopefully get more done and have more fun as well. Amanda says I'm disabled, so that isn't happening. Yeah. You have chain link. It would be nice to have something low maintenance to cover parts of it. Yeah. Yeah. So you need something that is not going to like wrap and encapsulate it. So thank you for the spreads. You're welcome. Hopefully you enjoyed, and don't forget to save. And I think we're approaching the Ides, but I think we'll be okay. All right. Thank you, and I will see y'all soon. Bye. Oh, wait, the poll.